Hey everyone, welcome back to my house. I hope you guys are all having a good one. Today I'll be reviewing TASM 1, The Amazing Spider-Man. That's right, one of the most overhated movies in the Spider-Man community from as far as I am concerned. But yeah, I actually have some pretty interesting thoughts on this movie, so stick around. But yeah, just jumping straight into this, trying to make these videos shorter so I can grind through all these movies and make editing a lot faster for me. Plus, you guys are already getting Odyssey this week as well. But yeah, just being straight up, this movie is so overhated. I was really expecting this movie to be a lot worse. I didn't really remember it as much. I just thought it was fine. And I thought, since everyone else was saying it was really bad, I thought it might have been worse than what I thought it was. But honestly, it was not even as bad as I thought. Like, from as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure people were calling it like worse than like Spider-Man 3. Like, people were acting like it was like Spider-Man 3 quality level, which, as you know, if you watch my previous video, I absolutely hated that movie. Yeah, like while watching, I don't think there's really any bad writing in the movie whatsoever. I don't think that means the writing in the movie is the absolute best, but I still don't think it's the worst. I think it's actually pretty good, to be honest. And there's definitely moments I like more than the Tobey movies. But yeah, I guess my first positive is actually seeing a good Spider-Man that actually like tells shows. And finally a good suit, because as you guys know, I hate the Toby suit. It is just so bad. And then we all know that Toby tells like the least amount of jokes as Spider-Man or quips and stuff like that compared to Andrew and Tom. Just doesn't even come close. It just felt good to see like an actual Spider-Man, someone that actually feels like Spider-Man. And I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but it's just Andrew just feels just like Spider-Man for me. And it felt more like a Spider-Man movie, while the Tobey movies felt more like Peter Parker movies. I enjoyed that part way more than the Spider-Man parts of his movies. And even like the overall plot of the movie, I don't think it was bad at all. I found it pretty enjoyable. I felt like it was a pretty good origin story. It had all the plot points it needed to. And even like the parent stuff in the beginning and throughout the movie, I didn't think it was that crazy bad. I remember people saying like, oh, the Chasm movie sucked because you had the whole parent plot line, but I don't think it's that bad of a plot line. And I think it's cool that they did something different compared to trying to do the same thing as what they did in the Tobey movies. And I found it like a pretty interesting plot line. And I think it's pretty important for Peter's character trying to figure out, where he came from and how that affects his relationships. Like we see that especially with Uncle Ben and his death. Talk about the Uncle Ben scene. Like this is probably my favorite Uncle Ben. I think the responsibility scene was a lot better in this. Just him saying like he have a moral obligation to do this and how that comes down to responsibility. I feel like that just hit way more, and their argument after where is his father, like where did that mindset get him. I think it was a really good and strong argument. It was just a very well written and more emotional scene than in the Toby movie, in my opinion, and it just hits so hard. And then we get to see this again later in the movie when he gets to listen to the rest of this voicemail. And I think it also hits a lot harder because Uncle Ben doesn't die in like the first 15 minutes of the movie. Like he lasts like I think it was 30-40 minutes. So it was a good amount of the movie. So we get to see more of his character. And I think it makes his death way more emotional. And we get to see how it drives Peter throughout the entire movie. Another thing when else compared to Toby's movies, I loved how we got to see more of the cop perspective, especially, Captain Stacy, a big part of this movie, which I'll touch on more in a bit. But yeah, just seeing how the cops kind of hate Spider-Man, they're like actually chasing him, and they actually impact the movie, especially towards the end. We see that. And I think it's just a really good development showing how the cops hate them, and then how the people love Spider-Man towards the end, or at least support him more. I felt we didn't really get to see that much in the Tobey movies. I know there was like a scene where there was a building on fire and the cop didn't do anything because Spider-Man had to go save the kid inside. But like other than that, we don't see like full on task force going after Spider-Man. And then it also leads to like good conversation with Peter and Captain Stacy at the dinner scene where they're like, is what Spider-Man is doing is wrong, and how it looks from the police perspective, which I think is a really cool and new viewpoint that we haven't got to see at all in the Tobey movies. We really only have James Jonah Jameson just sprouting nonsense about Spider-Man. That's really all the hate he gets, which is good. But I think it's a really also cool perspective to see the police, especially someone higher up like the police captain, and his perspective on Spider-Man. Other than that, last couple of positives, it was an actual good romance. I think Gwen and Peter had such a great dynamic with each other. It just made it so much enjoyable. I think this romance clears the romance in any of the Tobey movies. 1, 2, or 3, pick your choice. But I think this is way more entertaining. It was actually just felt so much more real. It was way more funny. The comedy was good. I just enjoyed the romance overall. The bridge scene was great where he helps the kid up. I really did like that scene. Then we also get the crane scene, which is also really great too. Like seeing how the townspeople helped him. And it was the same kid, same father of the kid who he saved on the bridge, and showing how that one person made a difference. It's just, I just kept asking myself how the entire movie, like, how do people hate on this movie so much? Like as I kept watching it, it just kept getting better and better. Like at first I was like, all right, maybe people are right. It's all right. It was like Spider-Man 1 level, like a 7 out of 10. But then as I kept watching it, just kept getting better and better and better. I'm just like, how? How do people hate on this movie? It makes no sense to me. And finally we get the Captain Stacy death scene, which made me cry. It was just so emotional. And finally helping Spider-Man, having Peter make that promise, and seeing how that impacted him with Gwen after, just so emotional. And I just don't think the Toy movies have anything to that emotional level. Like it just doesn't have these highs that TASM has. Except for Spider-Man 2. I think there's some really good moments in that. But TASM 1 has so many good highs and so many more emotional moments than probably all three of the Toby movies from as far as I'm concerned. And I know I've been quizzing a lot, but it really is because this is a good movie. I guess my only complaints is like the villain. I guess the lizard isn't the craziest villain, and I guess it could have felt like his turn towards the end to evil and good felt kind of rushed, but in my mind, I feel like it was more like him turning into a lizard made him turn evil because couldn't have a sense of control over himself. So as soon as he was not a lizard, he was able to return back to normal. That makes perfect sense to me. I guess I could see how other people feel that wasn't too crazy, or he doesn't have that much depth compared to like Green Goblin and Doc Ock. I'll give you guys that one for sure, but I still think he's a pretty cool villain overall. And I guess I just wish we got to see more of May taking care of Peter. We don't really get to see that throughout the movie. We see May being concerned for him, but not really asking why and what's going on. I feel like even with the Toby movies, I will admit they did that better because May, he even gives him like birthday money and stuff like that, just trying to make sure he's all right overall. So I wish we just got to see more of May doing that. So hopefully in TASM 2 we get to see more of that. But yeah, not too much of a complaint that I'll like take off points, but it's just some things that might be holding it back to getting a higher rating. And then the writing too, it's not the best ever, but it's still pretty good, which is why I don't have it as high. And before my rating, I know this is gonna be like the biggest thing everyone's gonna be talking about, but I think the main reason why people might not like this is because we don't get that much of a comic accurate Peter Parker, which yeah, I guess compared to Toby, Toby's a really good comic accurate Peter Parker, but like we've already done this, and this is an adaptation to tell a different story but still have those same foundational moments of what makes Peter Parker basically. So I don't think it's wrong for you to not like this movie because the Peter Parker is not comic accurate. Sure, I could get you wanting the comic accurate Peter Parker, but does this movie make it so bad because he's not exactly like Peter Parker in the comics when it's the adaptation and they're trying to do something new and different, especially when he has the same foundations as Peter and he goes through the same arc Toby does. And we even have Andrew's incredible acting that helps save his Peter Parker, even though it's not even that bad in my opinion. Like, so what? He rides a skateboard to class and stuff like that. He still goes through the responsibility thing. He still goes through those character arcs, and Andrew's acting is really good too, so that helps balance it out for me. Anyway, I said shorter video, so my overall rating for this movie is an 8 out of 10. Basically, all the reasons I was just saying towards the end. I think this is a really good movie and definitely overhated. I was surprised I even have it this high, and I know I like TASM 2 more from my memory, so I'm excited to see that. So let's get to the moment that everyone's been waiting for. We have our ranking. Uh, yeah, like you guys seen from the Glaze, it just has to go number two. I still don't think it has as many good writing moments as Spider-Man 2, but I think it's definitely better than one. Well, definitely better than three, first off. And one is a bit more close. I think this is like a low 8 out of 10, but it's still a great movie. I still don't think it reaches the highs of Spider-Man 2, but yeah, overall, it's still a good movie. And yeah, I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate comments because I put Tarzan 1 over Spider-Man 1, but I don't even think it's that crazy, especially the emotional moments. Like Spider-Man 1 just doesn't have any emotional moments that really drove the story for me. But yeah, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have Odyssey later this week and, TASM 2 sometime. And then, we're finally going to get to the Tom movies. We're almost a brand new day. So I hope you guys are as excited for that movie as I am. And yeah, stick around with the channel. We are close to 100 subscribers. I know I've been saying that for the past 5 videos, but yeah, we still are close. So drop a like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one, guys.